A relaxed ass is a happy ass. But if it's a tight and unrelaxed ass, it's an unhappy ass.
Hey,
Hey,
it's midnight.
it looks like it's midnight.
Check it out.
No, wait a minute. Sorry, it's only 3:15.
Oh. Oh well.
Hey, everybody. I'm Sean.
I'm Jen.
We're the Midnight DBAs.
We are the Midnight DBAs.
And this is DBAs at Midnight.
We're DBAs.
And we're MVPs.
And we make training videos.
We write articles.
We blog.
And we're not even going to mention the web show because it's over.
Bad time.
Oh.
I started
First
playing like
snafu of the last
20 seconds
episode.
ago. I just now started playing.
Guys, this is our season finale for season 2. We've been doing the show for 2 years now. Dose of them.
Dose of them, and it's been really cool. We're gonna do some stuff.
We're going to do some stuff.
We
Wait
have
a minute.
appropriately dressed all in
All
black
in black, yes.
because it's a sad thing, the
is
passing
a
of
sad
season
thing.
2. And we were gonna be all, hey, it's awake and we'll drink and sing, and yeah, we just don't have the energy.
See,
for
when
that
I was
kind of thing.
planning, when I was planning this, I wasn't sure if we should have like a wake for the passing of the show, or if we should have like a toilet for the passing of the show.
What, a toilet for the passing of the show?
Yeah, and have me just sit there and go, oh, I'm trying to pass season 2.
That's a little gross, but
Yeah, well, you know. Very nice, very nice. Okay.
that wasn't planned.
Okay, so
All right.
what do you got?
Well, what I have is a year in review.
Oh yes.
I have a year in review, and these are just highlights.
Go on.
All
I
right.
thought you were going to act out the entire year.
Well, I suppose we could try a little bit.
You know. Oh, you know what?
What?
Do the entire year, like the jail scene from The Producers.
Oh God, I can't. I can do frantic, but I can't do the tonality and posse. Okay, so
That would be so cool. Anyway, go ahead.
okay, we started September 4th, and we have gone then to now from 34 groupies to 110 groupies.
Oh.
943 Twitter followers to 1,616 followers.
You can just say 1616.
Shut up. And almost 9,000 tweets to over 17,000 tweets. I'm slacking off a little bit. It's not quite double. Maybe
Yeah.
keep it going. Actually, but that's not for a solid year, so
Yes.
I think it's probably good.
Oh my God! I almost forgot all
Don't
about
get
ahead of the
Don't get
story.
ahead of the story. So, first episode, I presented you with the Talking After Midnight song, music courtesy of Buck Woody. If you haven't,
yeah.
if you haven't gone out and heard the Talking After Midnight song, you should go and see it. I wrote it for Sean.
I did like that.
Oh, I'm so glad. It's out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/midnightdba. A lot of you at home are going to be all like, oh, I remember that. So this is a big nostalgia thing. Woo. So, in the last
And the
year...
hair goes wavy, as you remember back.
In the last year, we introduced the groupies. That was just this season.
Yes, I wish it were the gropies, but still.
I know. They're groupies in here. And we gave them ringtones, and we gave them brownies and cheesecake.
Ringtones, yeah.
It's all available
and
on
cheesecake.
their site. We introduced...
Some of them
Hang on.
physically got treats.
Hang on. Where's the old one? We introduced the Cornhole Award. We also introduced the Aristocratic Cornhole Award. These are all your brainchildren. We also introduced the Golden Shower Award. That's the good one.
Yes.
And let's see. Thank you. And I think that's all for that right now. We gave a hand job award to Burleson Consulting. We don't have a graphic for that.
However, I'll just stroke my Yeti.
And nobody else has gotten a hand job award since then. Although I'm sure...
Do you have the Buzz dolls?
Buzz dolls?
Oh!
Oh, that's right. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
that's right. We used the little kung fu grip thing for it.
That's right. I forgot about that. We also...
Got screwed over by GoDaddy.
and we talked a lot about that. And here's their corporate structure where everybody is crapping on everyone else. Let's see, what else did we do? I'd forgotten about this, we gave Jonathan Quijayas,
Guys.
I get that wrong every time, sorry Jonathan, a Golden Shower Award for He Is Awesome. That's what I wrote in the show notes. So,
Very nice.
Way to go, Jonathan. We introduced the Freddy! The Freddy is new in
Was that
season
just
2.
season 2?
Yes,
Really?
it was.
Wow.
So, yeah, he gets the clapping right for himself, of course.
Yeah, well, because he's running the soundboard.
And we talked about how he killed the site, MidnightDVA.com, by the 3rd show.
Oh, yeah.
Blew it up.
Do you recall that I had
A graphic.
diagram of why it wasn't my fault?
We have a picture of that
I have
in,
diagrammed it
in the show notes.
in intricate detail of why none of this is my fault.
Yes.
I have one of those about the show.
Yeah,
why
sure.
none of this is my fault.
That's in episode 2, season 2, episode 3, if you want to see that and hear about it. We renewed our vows. You remember renewing our DBA vows?
Wow.
It's like a memory lane thing. It's awesome.
I forgot all about that.
You started your card talks, which have, I would say, probably failed to take off because we haven't advertised them at all.
Yeah.
But those are all on our Ustream channel.
That's
We
right.
had a naked chick,
Yes.
and it wasn't either one of us.
She was so lovely.
She was lovely.
Wasn't she lovely, Freddie?
She was.
She was
She was so lovely.
She'd have a camera.
And Adam Mechanic doesn't believe us still.
such a dick. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh,
hi
she
Adam.
was so lovely. I was looking for her phone number the other day to see if we could try to bring her back for the
I think that's in my old
for the final
phone.
episode, but I couldn't find it.
I think that's in the BlackBerry. I'll have to look
Because it
up.
would be nice. Hey, you want to come back for a season ender and,
Get naked again?
Sure, let's start there.
Easy killer. Renewed vows, naked chick. What are you gonna do?
That was part of my vows.
The RTFM 365 project died a quick death,
Uh,
as most of us suspected that it would. That was
Yeah.
me and my Books Online charge. And I
Is
was
chat
gonna
dead?
read it and talk about it. And is season ender code?
I see. Yes,
so.
it is.
We had tons of awesome, lousy resumes and interviews, and everybody's favorite, lots of really good rants.
Yes.
Everybody loves the rants. Every time I say any requests, everyone goes, rant.
Can I interject something real
Of course
quick?
you can.
We were talking about the show today, and I was telling one of the guys, I said, you should watch our season ender show, right? Mm-hmm. You should watch our finale. You should watch the show sometime. And another guy from work who has been in chat before said, yeah, I just can't stay up that late, blah, blah, blah. And he's describing the show to the other guy, and he goes, and it's not really technical. You're not going to really learn that much, but he rants about a lot of things and does this thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold it. I give lots of good tech advice. They are in the rants.
Yeah.
I don't sit down and draw stuff on the board and say, no, when you're doing this, you must first cross that to do the...
Why would you
No.
talk like that?
Yeah, well, it's my snooty British teacher voice.
What way
In what
does the
way?
author's use of prison?
But in my rants, there is tech. That's what the rant is about. You're doing something stupid, and I tell you not to do something stupid. That's
That's
a
good
lesson.
tech advice. I have
That's
an
a
entire
lesson.
session based
The
on
shows
that.
are highly technical if you just know where to look. Anyway, go ahead. It's like the Bible.
Someone needs to learn to sift the golden nuggets from the shit. Thank you, Nick. We've never had a nicer summary of our show format ever.
Are you in prison, Nick?
He's Sir Full of Shit. That was this year too.
Yes.
He's our
Okay.
he's our right hand man after Freddy, I guess. I don't know. He's our left hand
Continue.
man. We had a New Year's bash where we killed a server dead.
Yes, and Alan Hurt killed it as well. He took a few bashes at it when he was here.
That's right.
I meant to film that and just forgot.
I took a picture of it. We
Oh, cool.
became banned in Canada, and we had surprise MVP time.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
presented with the MVP award, and it was the first ever to be a complete surprise to the recipient. Ever. Well done.
Ever?
That's your shining golden moment
Yes.
from the show,
Hey,
among others.
how about a little golden shower for me,
Golden
huh?
shower for Sean.
Golden showers for Sean. All over my
All
lovely
over
Sean.
this area.
That's right. This area right here. We did sequel Mad Libs. We
That was
had
actually
shows.
pretty fun.
The Mad Libs was actually pretty fun. We should do that again sometime. We had shows, and I'm not. This isn't everybody.
Yeah, this isn't inclusive. 'cause
This
we
was
didn't do
who
like
we
an
could
exhaustive
remember.
list, right?
It was in highlights. Remember, we had shows with Wes Brown, High West. That was a good show. Patrick LeBlanc, Steve Jones, Denny Cherry, Grant Fritchie, Alan Hurt, Wendy Pastrick, Eric Humphreys, Mladen.
He is the lost episode right now.
He's the lost episode right now.
And one of my favorites,
Itzik. We had him on twice.
Itzik Bengali.
He was a fantastic.
Or if you're an Andy Griffith,
Goal.
Itzik Bengali.
Do you remember Bad Tech Support Theater?
Yes.
I was confused with something else.
Is that the one that featured Justin?
We had a couple, but yeah, that was one of them.
Now you guys may remember us talking about her brother Justin
Oh,
not
you weren't there yet, Nick.
not being able to get off the phone. He's one of those people that doesn't know how to get off the phone. And you remember how we did a tech support theater with him, who couldn't get off. Well,
He couldn't
okay.
He finally told him about that too.
Yeah, I told him about it last week, and he was sitting at the table going, "Fuck you."
Okay, this is interesting. During one show, somebody counted 60 swears for the episode, so I worked it out. And if that's a decent average, and I'd be willing to bet that it is, then we swore approximately 2,400 times on the air just in this last season. Let's blow that out of the water tonight.
I love that. That's excellent.
I thought you'd like that. Little special features and stuff. And yes, we did a show with Nick too. Honestly, Nick, I forgot that was this season. I thought that was last season.
I thought it was last season too.
But he's right, because it was 2010 past.
Sure.
So yes, Nick was on the show. All right, we did current events.
Hey, Alan's here.
Alan, we were talking about you.
Alan.
That's never going to get annoying.
No, it's not.
We did current events, but very few of them. Current events included Egypt, El Negocio.
El Negocio. Remember, that's the Kempo video that my old instructor made. So good. Or movie, not video, but movie.
So good.
So full of campy goodness.
And
it's incredible.
The Rapture. We covered the itbookworm.com relaunch, which was awesome. Wake up. Yeah, the swear count only included on-air recorded show proper. MCM, MVP, WIT, and all the secret new features that you all went out and emailed Don Gill about. Bless your little heart so much. We love you. Big kisses.
That was so
I'm just going to
fun.
be handing out golden showers. All of you people that emailed Don Gill, you get your own personal golden shower from me and Sean.
That was so fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I loved that.
I'm still afraid of getting sued.
Why? None of it's true.
We also played Venery of IT. That was in a pre-show, and we played Midnight DBA Bingo. Somebody
Yes.
won a book for the bingo, and finally, Plagiarists and Trademarks. Oh, not finally, Plagiarists and Trademarks. That was recent.
Right.
And just for fun, a few good band names. Activate the Yeti is my ZZ Top cover band. Outright Dick Measuring is my Hall & Oates cover band. And Cornhole Blacklight is the name of my Boy George cover band.
Okay.
And that's my wrap up. Do you have anything else from the chat show? Anything that I've forgotten besides
Share your favorite show moments.
Absolutely.
I'll give you exactly like 10 seconds, and then I'm going to move on.
Yeah, the live audience showing live. I believe we only started that this season too.
Mayhaps.
I believe that was a new thing. And what a good idea. This has been an awful lot of fun.
Yes.
Belly dancing when Wendy was on. She
Somebody
belly
said that
danced for
earlier.
us.
That was post-show, though.
That was post show, but that's okay. We can talk about pre and post show.
We already said it's at Bengali. You must not have been here.
Yeah, he's caught on now. It's all right. Sean's cough was back this season. That's right. Made a special appearance. Didn't hang around for as long as last year. Sorry about that.
Well, can't make every episode. It's got work to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I tweeted before the show.
Looking for call girls
by
online.
a long, fluffy hacking
That's
song.
right. We did spend a good deal of time looking for
The Christmas tree, right?
Yeah.
The Christmas tree lasted for months. There's no code there. We
I
just
think
had a
you're
Christmas
right,
tree up.
Geek. We did sign off last season, so it did
Did
start
we?
sometime in the first season.
Well, fine.
I think you're right.
I think he's right too. You loved the Christmas tree. Well, we'll put it back up several months early just for you. Right. We talked about smashing the computer. All right. I think
Okay.
we're good there.
I've got
What have you got?
an award.
Well, before we get to your award, real quick, we never said why is this the last show?
Because everybody involved with the show, except me, is going on an Alaskan cruise.
You opted out.
Now,
On purpose.
sweetie,
Yeah.
Freddie's going on the cruise.
You're going too?
Yes.
He's going to be there the same time you are.
Coop has to quit playing basketball too?
Okay.
Can I just fart?
So yes. So the way it worked, the way it worked was they're going to be gone for 2 weeks. She's got to get up. They got to get up really, really, or like in the middle of the night to catch their plane.
Yeah, I got to be up
Saturday. So she
4
doesn't want to do the
Saturday.
show next week.
Can't do the show next week.
So
That's
with
3 weeks.
3 weeks without having a tech producer and having to find somebody else to do the show with that doesn't piss me off,
Harder to
we
do than
just
you
decided to go ahead and make it an extra week and go ahead and take our season break. Does that sum it up well enough?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when we're coming back on. I've been telling people 4 to 6 weeks off.
4 to 6.
If it's
6
4
never even would have crossed my mind.
If it's 4, that's fine. I didn't want to necessarily say this is absolutely when we're coming back.
Well, yeah, not yet, but that'll be a surprise too.
Yay! All right, so that's why.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
excellent.
There will be no break in August.
Yes, this is true. This is replacing the break in August, in case y'all
So,
couldn't figure that out.
what you got? You had an award to give out.
We have an award now. Before I give an award,
While you give an award, I'm going to show pictures, random pictures from the show. Go ahead.
because because you're going to be a part of this award.
Oh, hi.
Before I do that, I would like to announce that next season we have a new award coming.
Oh my God.
I am not going to name it yet. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, except that it's going to be fantastic and whimsical, and I think, and everybody involved in the show knows about it, and can I agree, can we all agree that it is going to be a fabulous, fabulous award?
It's going to be a fabulous award.
It must be.
It is a new, trust me, you are going to like this award. I've made sure of it. That's all I'm going to say, but I wanted to announce that. So tonight, I am going to give away our season's final aristocratically corned in the hole.
Sorry, I was sick.
So
Random explosion.
I really can't say enough how aristocratically corned in the hole this award is.
May I share?
Would you?
Yes. I got this text from Sean today that I was worried about other things and not thinking. All it said was, "Man, I've got such a big cornhole, you won't even believe." I'm like, now, he's one to share, don't get me wrong, but I've seen his cornhole. It's not that big, and I'm like, what just happened at work? Took
So
me quite a while
anyway,
to get done. Go ahead.
why am I giving out this cornhole? This aristocratically corned in the hole award
Why,
tonight?
Johnny? Tell us.
I am going to start
Uh-oh.
by having you take a look at this
Uh-oh.
and tell me what this does.
Oh,
Shit.
No. It's much simpler than you think.
Okay, SXA, exec pat list by order, and there's a big long select
There's
from
at least 3 pages taped together there.
left outer join and
No, you don't have to look all that.
union and it executes a stored procedure that takes a dynamic SQL string as a parameter. A really long one.
Very good.
Very
To
good.
the person and the company who wrote this code,
What in the fuck is wrong
this is
with
an
you?
SP call right here, half of that first
I'm
line,
going to diagram this.
and right here starts a SQL statement. Is it in the screen?
Not well in the broadcast. It's better on the recording.
Okay.
But it's red text if you can't tell.
But it starts here, and it goes here to the second page, and then here to the third page, and all of that is the first parameter to the SP, and here's the second parameter right here. So this is a SQL statement that gets passed in to this SP, and might I say that this just gets even better, right? Because not only does this statement right here, and I'm just going to hold it back for effect, right? Here, let's just tape that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's the tape?
You had it.
Well, you talk and I'll look.
So anyway, this not only does this get passed into this SP. I'm taking it a little higher.
Go ahead.
There you go.
Talk.
But that SP is about this long, and so it does a bunch of stuff in there, does a bunch of queries. In the middle, it calls another SP, passes it this SQL text.
No.
That other SP has one line in it, exec at SQL, and then it returns the result set from this one to that original calling SP.
Meet me at camera 1. What the hell is wrong with you, person who wrote that? What on earth would have possessed you to sully the code available to SQL Server with such a convoluted piece of shit? Why? Why would you do this? You go.
Okay, so you, my friend, are very, very aristocratically corned in the hole. I want to get a top hat for this award. Wouldn't that be fabulous? So there you go. You are aristocratically corned in the hole for taking this statement and passing it into an SP, and then passing that into another SP, and just returning that to the original statement, to the original SP, and then doing something else with it. Absolutely ridiculous. I showed this to our .NET guy.
Yeah.
I said, dude, take a look at this. And he looks at it and he goes, what am I looking at? And he starts, and he goes, it's something you. He's like, what the hell? When it hits you, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell?
That's got to be some sort of...
To their credit, though, it only takes this whole thing 15 seconds to run. I mean, I'm just saying, some things just amaze me.
Good God.
But I have nothing that completely blows my mind.
Job security.
Oh my.
So you're saying assign the dynamic SQL to a variable first and then pass it as a parameter?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Actually, that's probably what was done, because this doesn't have a bunch of variables or anything. It's got hard-coded dates and things as further, where this in, and then a series of other things. So somewhere else, there was a dynamic SQL string putting this together to pass it to this execution call.
Yeah, it was probably done from, it's probably configured on the front end. So this gets sent from the front end to SQL.
I'm trying to figure out what code sin this would fall under. Is this under readability or...
It would fall under...
unnecessary convolution.
Oh my God.
But I don't have a code sin called...
Super bad design.
Yeah.
That's all I...
We need a what the fuck coding award.
We've got too many awards already.
So anyway, there you go.
Wow. That's a really good one. You promised a good one, and that's what she said.
That is my season ender award.
Let me...
Oh, wait a minute. I can't hang that up because it's got my show notes on the back.
Sean gets another award. Okay, I have to write down...
Okay.
Aristocratic cornhole. Okay, I've got a couple things, or you can go ahead. I'm good either way. I got a long one and a short one, and that's it.
Which one am I? So, okay. I'm not going to do my rant yet. I do have a good rant, but we've got plenty of time.
I'll
for
be
that.
near the end, yeah.
I know what I'll do. I want to do my database predictions.
Okay. All right.
So, guys, y'all remember? I'll give you a short synopsis of this. Y'all remember last week or week before last, whenever it was, we had an issue that lasted all week long, and in order to solve it, they bounced every single box in the entire environment. Now, this is dozens and dozens and dozens of
Thereby
boxes.
ensuring you have no idea where the problem was.
And I told them, I said, we need to do this one at a time, right? And we were in a meeting today where they were clamoring for finding out what the problem was. And one of the NT guys, I think he's like the new manager for the server team, actually sat there and said, you are exactly where Sean said you would be. If y'all had listened and taken the hit up front, we would know more about this problem. We would know where to start. And this was right after. Okay, so that ended on a Friday. We bounced all the boxes that Friday night. Everything came back up right. Monday, we started having problems again. They were minor, but it was the same module and the same kind of issues, right? And somehow they cleared themselves up after just a couple hours, right? Which is good, but
Yeah.
I wasn't looking forward to another week of that, though. And everybody started saying, what's the problem? What happened? What did we do to... How do we fix it? How come we don't know what the problem is yet? We need to know what the problem is at all costs. Oh, no, you've already passed up we need to know at all costs, right? And so today, we get a thing that one of the guys in IT has called for a reboot.
Of all the servers?
Is clamoring for a reboot of every server in the scenario, again, which is just dozens upon dozens of boxes, every single time we do any kind of hot fix, or whether it be a database hot fix to even like change an SP or whatever.
You don't need PowerShell for that. They have a button by the door. Emergency power off.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hit the button. There you go.
I know it, right? So he has called for this, and we...
This isn't your rant?
No, this is not my rant.
Carry on.
And so he has called for this, and the one in charge of coordinating all of this says, now we have to discuss this and figure out if it's a good thing to do. And I'm like, well, no, we don't. When he comes to you and suggests this, you say no, and then you go on about your business, right? There is no... And some people
there are
saying,
certain things that you can simply say no, that don't require a meeting.
Yeah.
You know, I have an idea. Let's close down all the boxes and swap out that RAM every week so that it doesn't get worn down in the same places.
Yeah. And so
No.
And so some people were saying, well, I endorsed this because I thought it was a good idea. And I'm like, I don't care. Right? So the whole point of all of this is that when they refused to boot all of the boxes, to boot the boxes in order so that we could find something out about the issue, I wrote my predictions in an envelope.
No, you didn't.
And I signed them, and I
it.
dated them, and I signed them, and I had somebody and I had one of my teammates sign it as well. Okay, and you can see my signature, that my initials and his initials, and the date right there.
Oh,
and I would like for you to open up that envelope and see how close I was in my predictions.
Okay. Okay. Users will want to know why there are no answers when problem happens again.
Did that come true?
Yeah. IT guy will call for reboot after every operation from now on.
Because I know this grapevine.
Oh, crap, man. Called it. It's too bad that you don't get anything for that, you know? I mean, we can all praise... Wait. Hang on. Holding. Wait.
Oh my God. Give me a clap, Freddie. Give me the clap, Freddie.
Happy kids.
I couldn't get the clap, so I gotta do a chainsaw. It was close. It was not...
Very nice. So, and how did I know this? Because I've worked with these people, and when something like that works, not only will somebody suggest it and say, we should do this every time, that's a great idea, but it'll always be somebody in IT.
Can't stop.
Because
So,
clusters, you really like to reboot those.
yeah. So to make it clear so that somebody can't say that there's no tech content,
That was tech content.
you don't have to reboot an entire scenario every time you alter an SP.
It's actually sort
too
of
much jargon.
frowned upon. Word.
So anyway, there you go. That was actually pretty fun.
Wow. What should we call that? Our Nostradamus database Nostradamus section. All right. I've got a couple of things, and I'll go with this one.
I know. Oh.
So we've got Unsequel Friday number 4 up right now.
I fucked up.
Oh, it's not done yet. It's okay. You guys have till you guys have till like midnight on Monday to post.
Unfortunately, I haven't ever learned any speaker lessons, because I haven't ever gotten any really bad feedback, and I haven't cursed on stage.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can. Alan was the first one to do one, and he did just all kinds of lessons. You can do things that you've seen other people do badly. So there's that. It's a very wide Unsequel Friday is a very wide open sort of field.
Wide open.
The reason that I made a new Unsequel Friday was because I have a blog post I started to write, and I'm going to discuss that blog post. This is what inspired the Unsequel Friday. This would be posted Monday. So I got my Sequel Rally session emails back last week, and I'd given my code sin sessions. I got 84 evaluations back. That's the most I've ever gotten.
Well done.
I know, right? Overall, I got extremely high marks. Out of 5, I got a session average of 4.648, which is 93%. I got an A. Yay me, I got good numbers, right? Now, evaluation comments, they were very interesting. I've spoken enough now to know that unless you give a completely sucktastic session, you generally get mostly positive comments, with just a handful of outliers that either didn't think you did a good job, or thought the session was too simple, or thought it was too in-depth, or thought the abstract didn't match the content. This is usually from people who didn't bother to read the abstract or weren't actually listening to the session. But anyway, for this session, out of 62 comments, half were critiques. Half were critiques and suggestions. That's not a handful. So on the bright side, the positive comments came down to A, very entertaining and funny. So, no, not that. Which was great. And B, very informative / helpful / interesting. Great. This is what I try to be when I do a session.
No slashies, folks.
Yeah, I know. This is what I try to be. I try to be entertaining. Try to be informative. The negatives were too dogmatic and opinionated.
Oh, shut up.
This is a session I put together because I have strong feelings on it.
In this session, everybody wins.
A session like Code Sins, sin is a very strong word. You kind of got to go in knowing
it kind of leads
that I'm going to get up there and bang on the pulpit a little bit.
The title alone says that you're going to be superior, and it's a sin. I mean, only people who are superior say, "You sinner."
Yeah.
You were all beautiful DBAs.
We're all individual snowflakes. So, okay, maybe, perhaps, because I've gotten that before, like caustic or too sarcastic, whatever. Okay, I know my brand of humor isn't for everybody, but it's possible that maybe I'm too strong. I'll look at it. I think it's valid feedback, and I can look at it. I got no problems.
10-hour bills and 20 hail Balmers.
Well done, all gold.
Gold.
Okay, so...
Gold.
But for the rest, the rest of the critiques boil down to too generic. One person said, "I need deeper sins." I really liked that.
That's what she said.
I know. Several people said disorganized, and several people said too short or fast, or there were too much time for the horror stories. This is a sharing session at the end where I'm like, okay, what have you seen?
Yeah, none of them said that, Nick.
None of them said what? That's the one with the awesome hair. No, none of them said that. So. My answer that I've logged and I'm now reading to you to these last sets of critiques are, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right to give me that critique, and it was absolutely right for so many people to give me that critique. I was very, very disappointed in my Code Sid session at Sequel Rally. On the plus side, I kept the session going. I was entertaining, I think. I handled, there were a couple of people who got really too talky, and one guy who was outright, telling me, this is wrong, and you shouldn't have done this way. And I handled it really well. I deflected, I moved on, right? Yeah, exactly. I wrote down, I didn't swear or break anything or run off the stage crying. But they're right. The session was short, and ended much too soon, and with way too much sharing time, and I was disorganized. What happened was, Code Sins is the first session I ever gave. and it's my favorite one. It's a lot of fun to rant about the things that people do wrong and say, instead of doing this, you should this. Instead of doing this, you should this.
To rant in public, but
Yeah, I know. I'm a little too caustic for your taste. Give me a Diet Coke.
did you say coup caustic?
Too caustic. I meant to say coup caustic.
You said coup caustic.
That's fine. What I meant to say was too caustic.
Well, that's too bad.
So I'm fairly comfortable with it, but as it turns out, I'm too comfortable with it. I didn't do my usual full run-throughs in the days leading up to it. I kept starting and then getting caught up in, oh, I wanted to do this with this demo. Oh, that's right, I wanted to fix this with this demo.
Dangereux.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. So when I made it around to the later sessions, when later demos, while I was giving the session,
You were like, oh crap!
they weren't there. I had pulled up the wrong project, the one that didn't have all of the scripts added back to it.
I know, ass.
So I had to go looking for a couple, and then after that I had to give up because I wasn't familiar with them anyway. In short, I royally screwed the pooch, and it showed.
You know, that reminds me, I got on a tech support call on the way to school the other day.
Yeah.
And when I got there, the girl was asking me where kiddo was, right? And so she was asking me in French, and so I answered her in French, and on the call I hear, whoever's speaking in another language, would you mute your phone? I'm like, dude, jeez, calm down.
Alrighty then. I've got you overcame, adapted, and improvised. I will say, and I said in the blog, it did show up my strengths. I can keep going during a show, or during a session. I can.
When we bomb a show, we do it all the time.
Exactly, I'm sort of used to it.
We just play porn music and move on.
So like I said, I didn't freak out. I did the demos that I had. I went through the rest of the slide deck and talked about it as much as I could. Tourette. Yeah, sure. And then I made like the last 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was 20 or 25 minutes of the session, just sharing
God,
time,
dude.
and still ended early.
Don't forget it's hard discs.
Hard discs. So yeah, I am very unhappy with myself. I was very, very upset after that session.
And I remember you said so, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, called you up and said that is the worst session I have ever given.
And I said, yeah, I know, it's already all over Twitter.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not gonna cry into my beer about it. I'm upset that it happened, but
But you learned.
It was some seriously good lessons learned the hard way.
No, I've
That's
got something to
my
say
thing.
on this topic.
So that's where this has come from. This is me sharing. Go ahead.
Oh, I've got something to say about this topic. Now, I'm going to allow myself one of my few, I don't know what to call it, but one of my few accolades, I suppose. Alan Hurt this morning mentioned me in his thing, and the only reason I got that was because it popped up a ping back from the thing, right? And he didn't say whether it was a good session or not. He just said that I did a session on cursing in an interview, right? And amongst all of the amongst all of the don't curse on stage, don't, when you're giving a session, whatever you do, don't curse in any way, shape, or form. Sean did it in his session on how to curse in an interview, but you shouldn't do it, right? And that's all. And I wasn't taking it as a slam. I really wasn't.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that how many people do you really think could get away with getting up there and saying some of the things I said on that talk?
And you only pulled one or two punches, and those were for very good reasons.
Yes, but how many people do you think could actually not only could get away with it, but two, would even try? I don't know many people that would even, that if I said give a talk like this, they'd be like, I don't think so, dude. There's no way I'd get up there and get something like that. So anyway, I don't think Buck would do that.
No.
Buck
is actually really quite conservative. He's not a swearer.
And who would have gambling in their PowerPoint presentations?
Oh, was that in there? But yeah, so
Still thinking.
There's a list of organizations.
No. I'm just trying to think of who might.
He's been borderline with some jokes, Alan. You're right, but I mean, did you actually see my session? Because I'm going to say, name another tech ed, pass, connections,
Alan liked your session.
or anything else that used the phrase "filthy Jew" twice.
It was very tasteful, though. Very tastefully done.
And tell me that Buck would
Speaking
do
of which-
something like that. And look at some of the words I had on the screen.
Speaking of which, another first this year, although it's not strictly this related, was the inappropriate pass sessions. I can't tell you how much everybody is looking forward to that again.
Good.
Everybody is just dying for another inappropriate pass sessions.
Good.
Ah, good times. All right, so what else you got?
Yeah, I don't think it's offensive either, Nick. I think you're right because I handled it. I mean, I did it in a really good way.
You're taking it back.
What do you mean? Yeah. I'm taking it back.
It's okay, I'm taking it back.
I thought you meant like you're taking it. I was like, no,
No,
I'm taking
no.
anything back. Fuck them. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, there you go. That's all I have to say about that. Do you want me to have something now?
Bulldog, you do need to watch the presentation. For those who have not seen Sean's presentation, the link is still on your sidebar.
It is on our events page.
It's on our events page, and it's also linked off of your blog, I believe.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I put a widget on the side
Okay.
to write it.
But how to curse in an interview? I loved the session. It was a fun time giving it, and frankly, I can't wait to give it again. I would love to give it again. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, have a thing. Stop reading.
Have a thing. Stop reading. Okay. So, I will give you guys a choice. Do you guys want to hear about a work problem, or do you want me to skip straight to my rant?
Let me guess.
Yeah, no kidding. Sean, give the session an inappropriate pass this year, but be offensive. I don't know. I don't know if Sean can make a session about swearing offensive. I just don't know. I don't think he could do it. We have people in the mood for a rant. Rant, then work.
Okay. I can rant.
Rant, then I have a little snippet, and then work. Rant away, my dear.
Rant away. Okay, so
You wanna the sound effect?
what do you got? I like it.
It's insane person.
Yes, I get that.
Go ahead.
It needs to be longer though. That's what she said. So anyway, okay. So this problem we had at work that lasted a week. It was one module in the application, and what they decided was that it needed to be rewritten. Mm-hmm. That little portion of it, right? The way this works, you've got an insert.
Mm-hmm.
Goes into the table.
Right in?
Right in.
Okay.
So here's the table,
Good.
and it swirls around a little bit.
No, you said it went right in.
Yeah, and swirls around. It'll swirl around. So anyway, so it's got this GUID table, right? So everything has to wait for this one GUID table. So it's not a real GUID. It's just a number that it increments every single time, right? So the SP goes to that GUID table. It grabs the thing, increments it by 1, then updates it to that value, and then grabs that value and then takes it, and the next one does the same thing, and so on, right? So everybody's seen that kind of thing, right? So this is your main sticky point right here, because everything's got to wait for that one row to be read, then incremented, and then saved back again, right? So and then after it grabs that GUID. Yeah, exactly. So then after it grabs that GUID, it inserts the table, inserts the row into the table, then it calls an insert trigger that goes and searches for another value in another table, grabs that value, and if that value equals something, then it comes back here and it sets all of the values in here and updates that row again that it just inserted. Mm-hmm. Okay, so request comes in, goes to the GUID, comes back, inserts the table. The insert trigger fires, goes and queries another table, comes back, and then updates that same row again with the values. Right? The intricacies. the trigger updates the rows to the same values they already are.
Like you do.
Okay? There's a default column in the table. That default column, the default is a function. We've seen that recently, right? That function goes out and reads the site ID from a table. The only entry in there is 0. If that doesn't exist, it goes and reads it from another table. That entry is 0. And finally...
I guess
yes.
it was somebody that had something to do with this.
Yes, it's the same application.
What a surprise!
And finally, if both of those return null, then it returns 0. I mean, it actually says return is null, variable, and then 0. And I'm like,
Couldn't
really?
we have just started with 0?
And then, to top it all off, that update statement that gets fired, that gets run when you run the insert, hard codes the site ID as 0. It sets it as 0. So no matter what, it's going to be 0. Why are we calling a function, right? Okay, so that's the setup to the rant.
You're just torturing Spids at this point.
Yes, yes. So that's the setup. Their idea to get us past this was to say, well, we're going to get past this GUID generation thing because that's where the holdup is, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're going to go to a... they sent us a new process, and it's just, you know, a couple SPs and a new table definition that's going to use an identity column in the table instead, so they can just, they don't have to get the GUID generated. Duh, right? So they did that, but they left everything else the same. And so I'm telling them, guys, you don't have to do all that. I want the trigger gone, right? I kicked it back. Everybody downstairs said, yes, it looks good to me. I said, no. I want the trigger gone. I want the trigger dead. I want the function dead.
I want his dog dead.
So I want these things dead, right? And they kicked back and said, well, maybe in the future we'll go back and take a look at it if we need to. If this doesn't do you any good, but for right now it's good the way it is. And I kicked back and said, no, it's not. It is not good the way it is. You guys are willing to rewrite the process. I sat down and benchmarked it myself in 10 minutes. Right? I sat there and just banged it out real quick in 10 minutes. I took it from 38 milliseconds to 2. Right? And then I ran it and then I ran it in a loop 10,000 times, and I ran each of them in a loop 10,000 times and just did a little unit test on it, right? So anyway, and I outperformed the hell out of them. So the thing is in the functions, I mean the trigger's not even needed, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't rely on the value to be inserted,
right?
Because when you get when the call comes into the original insert SP, the value that it calls that other SP with is there, and that's the value that it calls that other SP with. So you don't have to insert it and then grab it from the inserted table and then call that SP with it.
Right.
You've already got it. So call that first, get the values, set the values to what you want, and then do a single insert, and you're done, right? I was practically screaming. I was like, no, here's what's going to happen. You guys are going to start coding shit correctly, and you're going to stop giving us crap just because you can. We are no longer accepting this kind of bullshit. Period. I want it fixed, or it's not going in my damn shop.
See why I love him.
I'm tired of half-ass solutions from people that do shit like this, which isn't even a half-ass solution, right?
Yeah.
I'm sick to death of these kind of solutions coming in my shop, and I have to put up with it. I get the call in the middle of the night, right? The guy who wrote it didn't.
Nope.
Doesn't, right? I do. I get the call in the middle of the night. And I'm getting sick of half-ass bullshit going in my shop. So you're clearly willing to rewrite the process. And there are other things wrong with the process that I'm not trying to force.
Sure.
Right? I mean...
You're picking your battles.
I'm picking my battles. But I want the two big things taken care of. I want that stupid function out of there. And so what's happened is I talked to the director of that application today because it was really sounding like they were going to just let them push it in anyway, right? Mm-hmm. And so she told me, and I told her, I said, we can't let this happen. And I'm arguing as hard as I can because it's just the kind of thing we're going to do to go, well, okay, but only if you promise.
Yeah.
Because we all know, once something hits prod, it'll never be looked at again. Period. Because when we say, okay, well, we'll accept it this time, if you promise to come back and look at it, we'll come back in a week and say, okay, we want you to do this. And they'll go, well, it depends. Are you having any problems? Then it's working. There's no reason for us to fix it. So anyway, she said, we're pushing back as hard as we can. And let me ask you a question. If we have to do this on our own, is this something we can do on our own? She goes, is this the kind of thing you could code? I said, I already have. It's done. It's in test right now. It's done. I've benchmarked it.
Yes, but have you worked with TC?
Yeah, I know. So she's actually willing to go behind their backs and do it anyway. And I said, one of two things needs to happen with this function. And I was showing one of my juniors this today. Either we need to get rid of it and just default the column to 0, right? Or just have the function itself just comment out everything in there and just say return 0. So it'll call the function return 0 and just go back. You don't need to go query. Oh, and this just gets me. Oh my God, this just gets me. Inside that function, it not only queries 2 separate tables for that site ID, but it checks that the site table is there first. It doesn't if exists for the site table first. Kill me. Really? Really? For every single insert. And this is that thing that inserts gazillions of times a day. It does this gazillions of times. Kill me. So, I don't want to load the function every time, right? I don't want to call it every time. But if I have to, return 0. Just comment everything out, return 0, and be done with it. Good God. Everything in there is 0. 5.5 million rows in that table, every single one of them is 0. That's my rant. Oh my God.
Don't do that to him. I now have 2 things. And I was going to end on a positive note. I'm going to, after I outlined how I've gone through passport hell in the pre-show, and I'm not going to go over all that again because that's too painful and kind of boring. But it's truly been hell. And it came down today to, I was going to pick up the passport. They said between 2 and 3. I arrived at like 3:01, 3:02, and the doors were locked. When they said between 2 and 3, they meant it. And I was like, seriously? And they were like, yeah. I said, could you find it in your heart to let me in? And the guy reluctantly came over and unlocked the door and let me in. He's like, but this is the last one. And then I got the passport, and I was like, it was a security card. I was like, you could have been a dick. You could have been a complete dick. Oh, no, it's 3:05. Go fuck yourself. You could have done that.
Because he would have. I mean, I can't believe he didn't.
But he didn't. Every once in a while, somebody follows Wheaton's law. Every once in a while, you get a win. That's all I've got on that particular subject. Unfortunately, praising people takes far less time than bitching about people. I'm kind of okay with that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Now on to bitching about people. I've been out of the loop last couple of weeks, but I heard about this peripherally. Apparently, according to my field operatives here, SWUG, the virtual user group, that worldwide one, linked to some really bad DBCC content this week, and I am told, and I was given the link. Example content include: consider using tablock to make CheckDB go faster.
Well done.
Use DBCC CheckDB repair rebuild whenever possible. Use check DBCC with repair option as much as possible as well. And it apparently really hacked Paul off. So if you want to take a look at that,
my!
I've got any further commentary on that. Yeah, and there's a question, but we're running out of time, so I may save the question and answer for pre-show because you've got one more thing. Post-show.
I had an interesting problem at work this week twice.
Okay.
Day before yesterday, I got a P1 ticket that a couple of the databases on this one server had gone offline, and this is one of ours that has like 300-400 databases on it, right? And I'll say that they were inaccessible. So I looked at it, and surely enough, it was inaccessible, because just because I get that ticket doesn't mean that's what it is, right? And sys databases still said that they were online.
Okay.
And the files were online. So in sys master files is where you find is the DMV to find all the files, right? But that doesn't matter because SQL almost never sets them offline on its own anyway. But I looked in the error log, and I could see where one of them, I assume the other one was the same, where one of them was actually taken offline. It doesn't say by whom or anything. It just said database has been set to offline. I'm like, right? So I went in there and set it online. And it took a few minutes because it's got to do a recovery kind of thing. But it came online, and I'm like, okay, right? And I got the same P1 ticket today about the same time. And I'm like, only on one of them, and I'm like, what the hell? Right? So this was the weirdest thing, and I really don't know what to think about this. I have no answer so far. I'm waiting to see if it happens tomorrow morning. This time, the one database was offline. Okay, I don't want to mislead you. I don't want to be an end user and mislead you. The database was not online.
Right.
The database was not offline. The database was not an emergency, and it was not detached.
And it wasn't in single user mode, and somebody else taking out the single user.
Right. It was in sys databases, but I couldn't set it. I got an error when I tried to set it offline or in emergency mode or in online mode when I tried to change the mode. Right.
Just the generic. You can't do that.
It had it's in a state where it's unable to be checked, where checks are unable to be run against it, something like that. I forget the actual number. And so I couldn't change the state, but it said it was online in sys databases, and both files said they were online, but we've already established a big deal, right? There was nothing in the log about it being set offline or anything. And here's the weird part. I could copy the files so they weren't being locked by SQL. So I can copy the files so they're not being locked by SQL, but they're still in sys databases. And they're not offline. They're not in any state that I could find, right? Now, here's where it gets even worse. It wouldn't detach because it didn't exist. But it was in the list, and I refreshed it, and it was in sys databases, and it was there, and it was in sys master files, and it was there, but it didn't exist. And here's where it gets even weirder. When I burped the service, it came back, and everything was fine.
Have you gotten any word back from our secret ninja stash of friends?
Nope. Nobody has said a word about it. I'm gonna email Paul specifically about this and say, dude.
You got a wow from Wes.
I don't know. I don't know.
Sand driver for one particular database?
But there are other databases on this drive that have stayed online. That we're using mount points for this one. And there are plenty of other databases in that mount point, and every one of those were online.
Could this be some really weird symptom of corruption? I'm just grasping at straws
When
now.
it came back online, CheckDB cleared the whole thing. CheckDB came back clean.
I'm told.
And this is
doesn't always catch
this
it.
This is an 08 box. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Nick suggests a sand bus reset.
Yeah, if it happens again, I'm going to go the sand route, because maybe there's something weird on those sectors that part of the sectors that database file is on. Maybe the database boot page is sitting on a bad sector or something. You know, I don't know. No, it's not on a VM. So, yeah, I'm leaning towards storage. I just don't have any proof yet. But if it does happen a third day, more or less at the same time...
Just get rid of the storage and see how that works.
Yeah.
Remove the storage.
I think this database should be moved.
I'm definitely going to get the sand guys involved. Now, keep in mind, I don't want to get the sand guys involved because they're
You
always,
never want to get the sand guys involved.
they're always so perfunctory. They'll open up windows and go,
Yeah, it looks good.
yeah, it looks good. Or they'll look at their mount points and it'll say, active or whatever the fuck it says, right? And they'll go, it's fine. And they're just going about their business. It's like, guys, can we get some real troubleshooting out of you guys every now and then?
It's sort of like,
Just every now and
how
then.
Staples has the easy button. It's kind of like they have the easy use status light. All good?
Look! It's white.
Yeah.
We're good. We're golden.
So, no, there are no active connections to the DB because nobody can get to it. I mean, it's actually dead. And it exists and doesn't... It's actually in purgatory. It exists, but it doesn't exist.
Oh, you know what it is. It's a second off from reality.
Yes. It hit a code sim.
Phase shift.
It's the Langolier database.
Yes.
Nothing in the log about it whatsoever.
You're just going to have to keep us updated.
Next
season! Oh, sorry about that sound. I apologize. That kind of draws us to the end of our little thing here.
Yeah, I've got one more thing.
Have you?
I've got one more thing.
Oh, you go for it.
One of the reasons, well, the big reason why I hate those complicated maintenance tasks, the SP, the re-index building tasks, right, is because they get really, really long, and when you have a bug, they're really hard to find and all that, right? I called you over for help last night with a re-index job that I'm doing that unfortunately has to be dynamic like that.
Some of them do.
Yeah, some of them do, and I absolutely hate them, and this is why. I had made a mistake. Well, I was trying to print if it's a certain percentage I want it to reorg and another percentage I want it to rebuild, right? And it wasn't printing my rebuild statements. I just wanted to print them to make sure that everything was right, because this one handles partitions and all that. And it wasn't printing my rebuild statements, and I'm like, what the hell? So I started changing with all that logic in there, right? I started playing with different logic and deleting commenting out different logic and all that. So I basically had it down to a cursor and this statement, right? And it still wasn't printing them. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. What the hell's going on here? And so I was going to call you over and you were putting the boys to bed. And in between that time, it hit me, right?
Okay. Because I've forgotten what the solution was.
So the problem was that I had put in an @db name parameter in my string, right? Because in SQL, it's not like PowerShell. You have to build the string, right? But I had never set the DB name string above, so it was null. And when you add a null to something else, the result is null.
Because what does null mean, children? It means unknown. Anything plus the unknown equals unknown.
So it just hit me, but I had been troubleshooting that forever, and I was sitting there going through all the logic and everything, going, what the hell is wrong? It's right there. What do you mean you won't do it? But on the reorg statement, I hadn't added that yet. I was kind of in an interim thing, right? And I'd forgotten, and I wasn't looking that closely, right? Because I had added that and then got busy and saved it, and then came back a couple days later and started doing the thing.
You got busy?
I got busy. So anyway, it's just like, but this is why I hate those complicated maintenance routines, because the littlest thing goes wrong, and it's like, Jesus Christ, man, it's really hard to...
Yes, every time we talk about nulls, somebody has to say, only for ANSI nulls on. ANSI nulls on is the default. Every database I've ever worked with has had ANSI nulls on. I'm sure some databases have ANSI nulls off. Some scripts have ANSI nulls off. Yes, I know. I don't know. Does that bear repeating every single time? I'm not mad at you particularly. I'm just saying that somebody always has to say that.
However,
just saying,
ANSI nulls doesn't apply here. I'm just saying.
Oh, one of our dear friends says, well, fuck those databases then.
So, anyway, ANSI nulls doesn't apply here. If you go into a situation like that where you're building a string and you've got a situation like that and you set ANSI nulls off, you'll get the same thing.
Oh, that's right. It's only that has to do with how nulls are compared.
Yes.
Yeah.
So ANSI nulls is comparison, not for addition or concatenation, right? Which is an addition.
Okay,
So-
ANSI nulls means null can be equal to null. You say
Right.
equal, that's going to come out to a true. Normally, ANSI nulls on means the way they're treated. It's unknown. Unknown cannot be equal to unknown. Therefore, you have to say is null.
Look at all that tech content.
That's tech content.
So
I even did so.
anyway, who was it that said the ANSI null
Aw.
thing?
Aw,
Go!
aw,
Go! Aw. So anyway, there you go.
Well, any last stuff?
With tech topic, I've had to boot to DOS twice this week for 2 different issues.
I'm spent, but
Reboot DOS?
I've had to boot into DOS.
Oh, boot
Oh,
into
I
DOS.
see.
I was like,
Oh, dude.
how do you reboot just DOS? That's a good trick.
Into DOS.
We've got a couple things coming up. We'll be gone for 4 weeks or so.
yes.
We've got a sequel lunch. I've got a sequel lunch I'm doing July 29th.
Somebody wants to know when season 3 will start. That is
We get there when we get there.
exactly well said. Well said.
Sometime in
probably
July.
about 4 weeks. We'll announce it well in advance. Stay on the Twitters.
Yeah.
Leads to a session on how to curse in a vendor conference call. Absolutely. Oh, dude, you just let it rip. Cursing in a vendor conference call is like farting on a roller coaster. Man. Just let it rip.
I think this show is titled Farting on a Roller Coaster. Oh, dear.
I had one more thing. I don't remember what it is. Fine, I don't remember what it is.
You suck at this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget.
Don't forget.
Don't forget even. That we are introducing next season, probably first episode, a brand new award.
You're going to like this award.
I am very excited about it. Am I excited about it?
It's a very exciting award. I can see why you'd be so excited.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
You can hardly contain yourself.
I
Hardly.
can hardly contain myself. I'm dying to tell you.
We have a guess. The Relaxed Ass Award. It's kind of not too far off, sort of, in a way.
Yes. Anyway, that's all you're getting.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I think post-show is going to be largely what people think the new award should be, because I'm liking this. And if you didn't want to show live, ooh,
I used to do the
too
I used to
bad.
do the database Darwins on my blog a long time ago. I've done a few
Yeah.
Darwin awards.
Yeah.
You know, Darwin awards.
Kind of thing that just doesn't survive for too long in the wild. All right. Well, stop reading.
Play us out, Fredward.
You're supposed to do your thing.
Not on camera. Anyway, party on Wang.
Party on, Garth.
Dudes, we'll see you next season.
All man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bone. A mind that's weak and a back that's strong. Those 16 tons. Why do you get another day older and cheaper in debt? Say, Nita, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I